Let's jump in. Looks like we have starting to have a good group joining us. Good evening, everyone. This is the Reiche Building Level Advisory Committee, and it is May 27th, 6:32 p.m., and we are meeting via Zoom. I'm going to call our meeting to order. I want to welcome everyone, especially right before this holiday weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. I think tonight we have a pretty brief meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and do attendance as a few other people I suspect join us, and I can just do it on my own. So the business that we have before I hand it over to our Harriman team is just to consider and approve the minutes from our last meeting. So with that, is there a motion to approve our minutes from our last meeting? Anyone? You can just say, I move, and then I'll ask someone to second it.
I move to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Thank you so much, Lori. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ted. All right. Are there any questions or edits or any changes that should be made to the minutes from our last meeting? And does anyone need the link to those minutes? Because I can quickly put them into the chat if so. Okay, if there aren't any changes, just by a show of hands, can you indicate if you are in support of approving the minutes from the last meeting? Excellent, it looks unanimous. So the minutes are approved. And with that, I like Matthew Peters, how you raised your hand. Appreciate that. Very good, very good Zoom etiquette. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to our Harriman team to walk us through our brief agenda for the night. And it looks like maybe it's Mark.
It'll be a combination, I think, Emily. Thank you very, very much. So okay. Great to see everyone tonight here. We do have a brief presentation, and so we'll sort of get right into it here. But we thought it was helpful that we at least hold our meeting time and bring everyone up to speed with where things are, so that you're all informed. And if you do have any questions, we gladly answer those for you. So we really just have two items. In fact, we're trying to extend it. One is done, so we thought, why not extend it to 3 and 4 as the next agenda item? So you can fill in 2 whatever you want. So, but we'll do a project update and next steps. Those are our really 2 items tonight here. So, with respect to the Reiche project, last update we did with Presumpsca, we read the design statement. So I'm going to read it again here, just to kind of always ground back to that statement that really this project that is about looking to create an inclusive environment that celebrates diversity, fosters collaboration, embraces nature, and integrates into the urban fabric. So that's our design statement as we kind of think about that and how we've integrated that into the project. We'll see more and more of that as it's constructed here. So, but with that, this long list of bullet points here, I'm going to ask Lisa to give us an update on all the wonderful happenings that have been going on in the last month since we all met, and get you all up to speed here.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Great to see everyone on the Reiche BLAC. Hopefully you're all enjoying the beautiful weather we've been blessed with these past few weeks. Wanted to just provide an update. The Reiche project was advertised back on April 27th, and we are nearing the end of the bidding period. We had a mandatory pre-bid walkthrough. Lots of folks were there. I think we touched upon this at our last meeting, but for those that weren't with us, there were 4 of the pre-qualified GCs at that walkthrough, which is great. And targeting right now the June 3rd is the bid opening date at 3 p.m. We've had a handful of meetings with the lead teachers, Renee and Lori and Ted, to go through the logistics of moving during the first phase and all the phases that follow after that of construction. We'll continue to meet to make sure that we have everything worked out for that. Continue to meet with the district facilities, the owner's rep, as well as ourselves, architects and engineers, on a weekly basis to make sure that we have all of our I's dotted and T's crossed on all of the projects that are happening right now. We had the planning board public hearing that took place on May 11th, and we got conditional use approval. And right now we're working with the historic review board. We had a meeting with them on May 19th. Have some follow-up items that we're working through with them, and are going to set a follow-up meeting with them to work through those. So mostly materiality related regards to their questions. And then the health partners will be relocating out of Reiche, is our understanding, based on recent approvals. And we will be targeting a ceremonial groundbreaking in the students' return. And there's some time to start school and then celebrate that that huge milestone appropriately with everyone when they return. That is the update on Reiche. Pause there, see if folks have any questions.
Lisa, I actually had a couple of questions, and I'm not sure Spencer might actually be the best to answer my first question, which was about the health partners relocating. We, of course, had made room for them on the community center side, and I just wanted, my understanding is that they're moving as part of the consolidation of our of the city health services downtown. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, someone actually asked me that question. I think it was Roseanne Grafe asked me that question, and we got a response from staff that that's correct. They would be moving to 39 Forest Avenue.
So that again is a initiative to have services co-located together rather than so they're more easily accessible to the community. Okay, just wanted to confirm that wasn't the renovation wasn't affecting them. And then my second question is just on the groundbreaking. When I reviewed the presentation ahead of time, I was just looking for clarity on this. So we're not doing a groundbreaking after this spring or early summer because it's just the timeline is too tight between when school ends and when we have the bids actually approved. Is that the case?
Yeah, I mean, what you see there is the ceremonial groundbreaking. It's not the actual start of the work. So yes, we just don't have time to plan a proper groundbreaking.
Okay. Terrific. Thank you. Are there other questions? Yes.
Emily, can I just add one extra? The health clinic will be moving out in July. I just was looking for that email when you were asking that question. So my understanding is that they will be out in July. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? And you can just jump in if you have a question, because with the slides up, I can't necessarily see your hand. I guess I could go to the different view. Okay, either way works now. All right, I do see a question. Mr. Hummel, Ted.
With the health center not going in, I assume that is going to change the use of that space for design and use. Do we have thoughts about that?
Yeah, Ted, that will, I mean, that will no longer be a space requirement for that. So right now it's undesignated space in that part of the building.
Thank you.
All right, Lisa and Mark, I don't see any other hands up.
All right. Well, the big aspect of the list here and next steps between now and the next time we meet is that there's a bid opening for the project. So that's what a lot of this has been sort of gearing up to in this last month. We've been getting questions regularly and compiling those into updated instructions to the contractors and in the form of addenda to the bid documents. So that process is nearly over with the anticipated opening next week. So it comes shortly after the long weekend here. So, we have one more addendum to send out to the contractors. So that's right now planned for tomorrow. And we have on June 17th, we have a tour of Lyseth with the DABC, and that'll give an opportunity for people to see it in person. So we're really excited about that. That's going to be kind of a fun process, a little evening field trip, if you will. And so that's on the date of the DABC meeting. So in lieu of a Zoom meeting, we're going to be being on site and able to see the Lyseth mostly completed up to the last phase here, which is being undertaken this summer. And the next scheduled time for this group to meet is on the 24th of June. And that the Reiche time slot that night is the first time slot at 5:30. So, at that point, we should know who our contractor is and know what our bid results are, and all that we'll know well in advance of that, but we'll bring you up to speed on the latest and greatest of getting underway and getting under contract with someone on the project. So that's, again, 4 weeks from now, and I'm sure we'll blink our eyes and that we'll be here because we'll be officially launched, I think, into summer at that point here. So, and then, as was mentioned, ceremonial groundbreaking in the fall. And so we'll see how that times out with the start of school and all the fun and excitement that occurs around that in the month of September or so. So we'll, I'm sure, meet several times before then and figure out what our plan is for that. So, and with that, again, I'll sort of pause and
Mark, just to, it's Emily again. Just maybe for you and for the superintendent as well, if the bids come back next week and are over budget, we would expect this group to get together before the school board meeting on the 15th. So we can, if we need to take steps to do value engineering to bring down the cost of the project in order to get within our budget, this group would be a key, the starting place for having that conversation.
We would go to the DABC and then the DABC with the board.
Yes. So maybe it's just more to help this group have clarity that if we need to reduce some of the different aspects of the project to bring it within budget, we will reach out and set up a meeting and do so as quickly as we can. And then you will have you'll be able to look over the different options and definitely be at the center of the conversation about how to make those decisions. But
that is not the way that we've done it before. So I'm, again, there's not a textbook on this, but when we did the value engineering for Lyseth, the BLAC was not involved. It was the DABC and the school board that had those conversations.
Okay, my apologies. I thought I remembered the Lyseth BLAC, and I do think we would, if the conversation doesn't start with this group, I would certainly think that this group has more of the expertise in terms of knowledge of the building and the school, and really would encourage everyone on this committee to be a part of the conversation around value engineering. And I will make sure that that as soon as we have the information about the bids, that you get that information, and if there is a need for value engineering and there's a follow-up meeting before the 24th, that I'll make sure you're aware of that.
Have you met Reiche?
I don't know.
Yeah, and I guess to some part of that, Emily, we'll as we open the bids, and if we do need to go through a value engineering exercise of reducing the scope, Harriman will help by preparing some ideas or options of how we might reduce some of that scope in concert with the apparent low bidder. And so typically that's what we do. We'll work with the contractor that is qualified and has the lowest price set.
So I think the takeaway is please be on the lookout for updates in early in the month of June, and we'll try and let you know as soon as we have the information about the bids, and then if there are any steps that are needed in order to adjust the scope of the project to get it within budget.
And that should be next week. So
yeah,
it's right around the corner.
All right. Are there any questions from folks? Do people feel like you have a sense of the process moving forward? So again, the project would get underway in Mark and Lisa, maybe you can help me with this, but in late June or early July, assuming the bid is approved, the contract is approved by the school board on the 15th.
Yeah, that's
target.
Go ahead, Lisa. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that is the target. We have shortly after school lets out a little time for some time for the school to pack things and get things out of the space, and then the contractor has a start date towards the end of June.
And then the groundbreaking will just be the ceremonial groundbreaking after school starts again in the fall.
Right.
But folks can expect to see the work begin very soon.
Yeah, I'll also mention that the lead teachers have been organizing a lot of the effort behind the scenes and understanding how the different phases of the construction are going to impact both the facilities and staff, and have brought forward questions from the staff as well. So that's been a great exchange with them as well.
Excellent. Anything else? Any last questions before we adjourn? Because that is it for our meeting tonight. I think we're about to get to hopefully some very good news, but we'll know so much more just next week. So be on the lookout for updates. Thank you everyone for being here tonight.
And I'll just, one quick add. I just wanted to thank Ms. Serio, who is exiting from Reiche and will probably not be at any more of these meetings, but has been an incredible leader in the school and particularly around the facilities issues. And so I didn't want to let this opportunity go by without thanking Renee and having us all just, thank her for her service and wish her luck.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Renee. You'll be very missed. We appreciate all of your leadership, especially over the course of the last 15 months.
We'll make sure to send pictures of the transformation.
Mm-hmm. Or she can come back for the groundbreaking.
That's it.
That's always fun.
I love that. Thank you.
All right. So with that, I think we will adjourn. Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll be in touch next week. Good night, all.
Good night.